Crypto DLT with Mr. Conectr. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
It's Mr. Conectr. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the financial revolution. Welcome to the great awakening. What's going on in the world of crypto, everybody? We're staying positive as always because we keep getting this good news that they're trying to hold a good thing down that we are in. We've got this coming from Diana. 42 banks just tried to block Ripple's bank license, guys, because XRP is replacing them. Sure, they're going to fight it. Here's why Wall Street is panicking and how Ripple's flipping the global monetary system upside down. 42 banks blocking Ripple's license, or they're trying to. They're whining and crying, guys. You can't make this up. She says the move that shook the banking world. In 2025, in July last month, Ripple officially filed for a U.S. national bank charter, Federal Reserve master account. If approved, it would give them direct access to FedWire and full bank status, power to issue stablecoins like RLUSD. Enter the Bank Policy Institute, BPI, the mouthpiece of the 42 mega banks. They can't have this, guys. They're losing market share. That's why they've been fighting it this entire time. They could only ignore it for so long. They rushed regulators with this message that they should deny Ripple's application because it's too risky and the fiduciary concerns. But let's be real. Let's talk about risk. It's all about power. Why banks are really afraid. Diana says Ripple plus XRP equals a nuclear threat to old finance. No SWIFT delays, no Nostra Vostra accounts, no 3 to 5 day wires, no massive remittance fees, just instant money movement at near zero cost, powered by XRP. The old system's obsolete. XRP plus RLUSD equals the death to the middleman. Here's Ripple's plan. Use XRP for global liquidity. Use RLUSD stablecoin for instant settlement. Bypass traditional rails completely. Banks don't just lose business, they lose relevance. That's right, guys. This is what we've been in here for. Every day we get more news that it's going that way. Ripple, the David, up against Goliath, the banking cartel. Ripple isn't just a startup, it's an arsenal. Ripple is a crypto native RLUSD on the XRP, XRPL, ODL, fully licensed in US, Dubai, Singapore, globally active, ODL in 50 countries, now targeting Fed level access. Banks aren't banks are watching a new financial empire rise. They can't stop it. We've seen this before. Banks tried to kill PayPal, Coinbase, stablecoins, Bitcoin. Now they're aiming at Ripple. Same playbook, same fear. Spoiler alert, technology always wins. That's because the banks and government cannot create, guys. Private sector creates technology. Banks and governments, they adapt it. They buy it up. Ripple's not selling. This isn't just a license request. It's a warning shot. Ripple didn't ask for permission to exist. It asked for access to the core of the financial system. The bank's response: deploy lobbyists, weaponize regulations, hide behind concerns for customers. Yeah, you really think they're concerned about retail customers, guys? Are they concerned about their bottom line? Translation is the banks are scared. XRP isn't just a coin, it's a system upgrade. Here's what it powers: cross-border payments, stablecoin rails, CBDC interoperability, liquidity on demand, and it's doing all this without needing to be liked by the banks. Banks are resisting Ripple. That's good news because you don't get attacked unless you're a threat. Just like they sued Amazon, Tesla. They go after market share threats, guys. They don't want other people to play in their sandbox. Ripple is over the target. XRP is the missile, and Wall Street knows what's coming next. Final thought: this isn't crypto versus bank story. It's a legacy system versus the future showdown. Ripple's building the bridge. XRP is the fuel. RLUSD is the engine. And the walls are coming down. Let them panic. We're moving forward without them, guys. We don't need them. We've got our own roads. All right, we've got Bradley B up in the chat already. Buckles and D Cartel, top 3 on the podium for the Conectr stream today. Good to see you guys. As always, let's stay bullish. Let's keep going. We got the Conectr coins pulled up by market cap. What's popping off in the past 24 hours? XDB chain on the Conectr list. Digital bits up 15% today. Veritasium's back up a little bit. Osmosis. I was checking out the XRP pairs in the Osmosis AMM. Now that XRP is interoperable over on the IBC chain with all those coins. You got, I was looking at USDC against XRP pool on Osmosis. I was looking at COREUM XRP, and there was a weird one that had 3 XRP coins in one pool. I have to check back in on that, see what that's about. No telling. And don't forget about Pulsera, Hash Provenance blockchain, XPRT, EWT Energy Web, Rose Oasis Network, all in the green today. XRP up 5.26% at $3.06. We're back in play, guys. We can only hold below $3 for so long. And as Eric Trump said, buy the dip. So I think a lot of people took that as bullish and ran with it. A lot of buying of the dips. Flare, XLM, Sologenic, all in the green today on the Conectr list. Zahao had a good run yesterday. Look at that volume. Wait a minute, that's the all-time. This metric isn't showing it, but the metric on the CoinStats app had Zahao doing like 100% pump yesterday. Oh, that was interesting. It all depends on what metric you're looking at, right? What's up, Bradley Baggins? Blair is creeping up as well, says Bradley Baggins. It is. Blair's in the game, guys. XRP Fi in the game. Layer Zero's in the game. They're going to be interoperating the Wyoming stablecoin coming out. They're going to release it on 5 or 6 different chains at inception. Let's get to the show. We've got more coins. We've got American crypto list. Let's look at this. Super's up the most in America. What is Super, guys? Let's take a quick look at it. Build the future of finance with an automated DeFi. The first fully on-chain automation is here, unlocking a new automatic DeFi playground for you, further enabled by our vertical stack. Meet Super 2.0, the AutoFi stack. Sit back and let it work. I like to look at different American cryptos. Looks like they're integrated with Move, EVM Solidity, Solana Virtual Machine, Cosmos. Cool, cool. Like to support American cryptos the best we can. It's the first blockchain built for automation DeFi, a self-operating automated financial system. So layer 1, high-speed contracts with built-in data oracles, AI oracles, automation, cross-chain messaging. God, there's so many cross-chain protocols now, guys. We knew it was all about interoperability to begin with. We didn't know so many players would try to get involved, though. That tells you it's important, right? That tells you it's all boats. All boats are going to be playing here in this sandbox. What's up, Jeffrey? Yo, yo. Cross-chain messaging enables new AutoFi primitives capable of generating revenue and redistributing it to apps and node operators, reducing reliance on block reward time. Furthermore, Super Stack gives AI agents all the tools they need to create and run powerful AutoFi strategies for fully on-chain autonomous and security. There you go. AI agents are huge, guys. Put them to work for you, right? Jeffrey's still bullish on Evernote, and he should be. Evernote's a good chain, guys. Super also provides Oracle services to 90+ chain. Wow. Super is in the game. American crypto. We like to see that. What other American cryptos are popping off? Litecoin, Uniswap, SEI, all up today. What's next, guys? Let's keep the show going. We've got the categories in crypto. What's up the most? Play to earn gain. Dark Star is pushing this category up. Look at it. 4,000% up today. Must be a newly release. AI agent category is being pushed up by Treasure, Magic Coin. Layer 2 as well pushed up by Treasure, Magic. Residual token is pushing up the lending and borrowing category. What's falling today? Solana token 2022 category is down today the most. Today is Monday, August 4th, guys. Let's burn through the calendar events today. iPhone is now the iPhone changed how we access the internet. Now Solana Mobile is changing who owns it. Solana Mobile. Let's check out this release. Some of you guys are in Solana. Seeker ships today. Solana Mobile. We're excited to announce that Seeker starts shipping on today. For too long, the walls have been divided. The mobile world. Builders constrained, users controlled, value extracted. Solana Mobile was funded to break down these walls. First with hardware, then with software. Now it's time to evolve. The seed vault on the phone, open mobile ecosystem. Developers, users, hardware manufacturers. SKR, the native asset of the Solana mobile ecosystem, the SKR coin, economy, incentives, ownership. Interesting. The future of mobile is decentralized. With Seeker. Interesting. Solana's making moves. We like to see that. What else do we have? Like Nano, XNO, NanChat beta has now launched for download on Android and iOS. We like our Provenance blockchain. They're having a deep dive to the inner workings of Provenance. You can lock up your crypto, collateralize your crypto, and get you a mortgage on chain, verifiable by the blockchain. They have more real world assets via private credit locked up than any other coin out there, ranked 4,000 something. Cool. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's check out a quick look at our loan markets over on the XPR network. Let's see how much XRP has been collateralized on lending.metalx.com. We're up to 4.7 million XRP worth $14 million has been collateralized on Proton Loan. They're earning 4.49% APY. So it's good to see how much this system is being trusted. $14 million worth. And actually, if you look, it's going down a little bit. They're actually paying you to borrow XRP. They're paying you 11.25% APY. Of course, you have to, deposit your collateral. But if you want to borrow XRP, you can earn that much, 11.25% to put it to use. There's USD coin, 38%. We've got only 3.9 million deposited. That's stable coins. You don't make money with stable coins. You make money with volatile native assets. But some people aren't even interested in making money. They're interested in holding on to money, especially in these some of these third world countries, guys. They don't have access to the dollar. And now they do. It's very important to have access to the dollar for a lot of people, just to hold value. We're trying to create value. A lot of people are just trying to hold on to their value. They don't have a good way to hold their value. So there you go, enter stable coins. Okay, let's keep it moving. Total crypto market cap today, $3.72 trillion. Let me just make sure I don't need to refresh that. Yeah, it's automatically refreshed. There's your all-time chart. Look at there, going up and up and up. Is this just the beginning, though? You ask me, I think all you guys are here in the right place at the right time. Let's go. We've got the Bitcoin market dominance, BTC dominance chart. Of course, at inception, this is all time. At inception, all the altcoins were released here. And got some volatility there. And now Bitcoin's trying to push back up, but it's getting knocked down again to 61% dominance. It's good to get all this data in, guys, to kind of tell where the entire market's at. Here's our double XRP ETF from COREUM at 43.15. We're looking at the stock market now. A little bit of green in the stock market. Microsoft up a little bit, and Nvidia up again. Just take a quick look at the snapshot to see where we're at today. Because we know crypto kind of follows the stock market a little bit. It's supposed to be inverse, guys. When I got into this, I thought crypto was supposed to be inverse than stock market. But evidently not. Seems to go hand in hand here lately. Circle. Having a pullback. If anybody wants to pick up some cheaper Circle, there's your 1 month chart on Circle. How about Coinbase? Little pullback on Coinbase today as well. 318. Let's check out the commodities, guys. Gold's at $3,375. Silver's at $37.36 per US troy ounce. Cool. Let's keep it going. We've got Crypto Panic pulled up. What's going on in the world of distributed ledger land? It gives you some instruction how to claim Cardano's Midnight Glacier airdrop token. on XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more. Midnight. It's giving away free tokens through its big Glacier airdrop. It's already been sent to over 37 million wallets across major blockchains like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Solana, BNB, AVAX, and BAT. Let's take a quick look at this. See how they're claiming these midnight tokens. I don't think they're actually airdropping them, are they? Is that going on yet? Says it launches Glacier airdrop. Night tokens. %50 of the airdrop goes to ADA holders, 20% to Bitcoin, and 30% is shared by the rest of the coins. Go to the official Midnight Claim portal. It's not even announced yet, so yeah, it's not ongoing yet. So hold on, guys, it's coming. Enter your original wallet address, where you held the eligible tokens from the snapshot. Enter a brand new unused Cardano wallet address. Accept the terms, sign the claim, wait for your tokens to thaw. Every 90 days, 25% of your tokens unlock. You can claim gradually or wait for all to thaw. And if you missed out, there's going to be a phase 2, lets anyone use their computer's power to earn leftover tokens. No special hardware required. Phase 3, Lost and Found, gives a final chance to eligible users who didn't claim in time. But the step must be done directly through a smart contract. The redemption process starts after the airdrop and unlocks tokens slowly. Just make sure you keep a small amount of ADA in your wallet for transaction fees. If you don't claim within 360 days, the tokens go to the Cardano treasury. When is the claim period? Here you go. While the claim portal isn't open yet, Cardano's founder says they expected to give more info during the Rare Evo conference from August 6th through 10th. So there's more to come on when. So just hold on. It's coming, guys. And we saw where Visa adds more stablecoin support. They're using Stellar now and Avalanche chains. Don't sleep on Stellar. That's a good project there. And Visa launches Circle's EURC stablecoin on Stellar and Avalanche as well. So I guess they're a rival for the RLUSD. Let's check out this article.
Hey, man.
Hey, can you summarize this in detail?
Sure thing. The article talks about Visa stepping up its game in the stablecoin field. Visa's teamed up with Paxos to add support for USDG and PayPal USD. This partnership is a move to compete directly with RLUSD and other similar tokens in the digital payment space. They're keen to offer more options for on-chain settlement. Also, Visa's broadening its horizons by adding Stellar and Avalanche blockchains to its stablecoin payment system, and they've even introduced EURC, a euro-backed stablecoin. So it's clear Visa's all in on stablecoins and looking to expand its digital currency presence. Pretty bold move in the world of payments, right?
They've got to combat that RLUSD, guys. They got to stay relevant. They don't want to be left behind. Cool. And just making sure we don't miss any news coming out, guys. Lots of news about AVAX. AVAX on fire. Traders target $140 as Avalanche DeFi heats up. several articles about AVAX. Cool. Let's get to our bookmarks. We got one from Electronium. Don't forget, they're a member of the Digital Pound Foundation. The design of the Electronium network, featuring exceptionally fast transaction confirmation. It used to be slow, guys. I remember when I got it. It was very slow. They upgraded their entire blockchain about a year ago. As fast as 5 seconds and remarkably low transaction fees makes it an ideal platform for practical real-world use, especially in emerging markets. This efficiency extends beyond just speed and cost. It represents a lean operational model that respects Earth's vital resources. It ensures tomorrow's digital tools don't come at an unsustainable environmental cost. They've got a new scaffolding tool called ETN Forge. Is available to make Electronium dApp developer faster and easier to use. You can generate a fully configurable project. Wallet integration, smart contract setup, testing scripts, and more. Electronium had a good run last week, guys, while everything was down. It's interesting to see which projects are running while others are down. It's like they're trying to sneak in and buy up these coins on the cheap, right? And we've got Paul Atkins will make the next chapter to financial innovation written right here in America.
Today, I should like to discuss what Commissioner Peirce, Hester Peirce, and I are calling Project Crypto, which will be the SEC's North Star in aiding President Trump in his historic efforts to make America the crypto capital of the world. The SEC will not stand idly by and watch innovations develop overseas while our capital markets remain stagnant.
It's about time they step in. We lived under tyranny under the last admin regime. Side note, isn't it funny that our government calls countries they like, they call their leaders the governments, but countries they don't like, they call them regimes.
We're at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm announcing the launch of Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on-chain. The President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets released the PWG report with clear recommendations for the SEC and other federal agencies to build a framework to maintain U.S. dominance in crypto asset markets. This report is the blueprint to make America first in blockchain and crypto technology. We will not watch from the sidelines. We will lead, we will build, and we will ensure that the next chapter of financial innovation is written right here in America.
Project Crypto. Thank God we've got a crypto administration in charge now. What's up, Buckles? Still lurking. Thank you for your time. No problem, Buckles. What's up, Yogi? Lurking between classes? Right on. Get that education. Nice. Congratulations. Keep that going. Knowledge is power. And that's what we're doing today. Right on. Guys, side note, I did open up my store. I've got some exclusive merch. If anybody wants to help support the channel, I've been designing all weekend. Wanted to throw that in there. Cool. That's on my channel on YouTube. You can get to it X or YouTube. Hit the store. All right, cool. Let's get back to the show. What else do we have? Smoke Dog. Yes, stablecoins serve as a Trojan horse for the U.S. dollar dominance. The federal strategy is to allow crypto-native financial systems to expand the dollar's influence organically. Here's the solution. And the European response. Stablecoins act as a kind of a Trojan horse for the U.S. dollar dominance in a world of increasingly looking for alternatives. While countries like China and Russia push for de-dollarization, stablecoins keep the dollar relevant in global commerce, even outside the U.S. banking rails. With stablecoins, the United States doesn't need to force other nations to use the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications or traditional banking channels to maintain dollar hegemony. Instead, crypto native financial systems end up reinforcing the dollar's reach organically. It's an elegant solution. Embrace stablecoins, regulate them to keep them within the U.S. framework and let the free market do the rest. That's why the U.S. isn't outright banned stablecoins, but rather working with them to bring it under a regulatory umbrella. The real game isn't about stopping crypto, it's about ensuring dollar dominance. All the way, guys. There you go. It's all planned to use the public rails. And people don't even get it yet, guys. You guys that are here, congratulations. You get it. I mean, it's a pretty wild thought to think that money's going to move to public rails. That in itself is still wild to a lot of people. But here we go. You've got proof right in front of your eyes. Everyone's got it for the world to see, but you guys are acting on it. Congratulations. This isn't for everyone. Real World Asset Watch List says Breaking Hong Kong will launch its Real World Asset Registration Platform on August 7th, led by the Web3 Standard Association. It aims to open the full process of datization, attestation, and financialization of real-world assets. This is big. While China's shutting everything off for its citizens, as far as crypto, Hong Kong is opening it up. Looks like Hong Kong is the test bed for China. They'll come around, though.
Trust it more than an Oracle database. Trust it more than an Oracle database. Oracle database. Oracle database.
And we've got new from Cointelegraph, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Japan's SBI Group led TradeFi's blockchain investment surges with 345 deals totaling over $100 million between 2020 and 2024 per the Ripple report. They're buying it all up, guys. They're positioning themselves to stay relevant because they're going to be losing tokenized deposits. That's why they're going after Ripple. They're losing market share, losing fees. We're drastically reducing fees, and people don't even get that yet. They're so used to paying all these fees everywhere. That's why I'm not big on blockchains that tout the fees all the time. I mean, some of these cross-chain communications, you even have to, there's protocols in there to guess what the other chain's fees are. You know, fees, the only purpose for fees should be to limit spam. And even one step further than that, XPR network doesn't even have fees. This has a revolutionary design to limit the spam. Your private keys are locked on a secure enclave on your phone device, not connected to the internet. That's how they limit the actual wallet transactions. How many you can do. I'm not sure how many there are, but there's got to be a limit to prevent spam. X Finance Bull says IOTA just went from theory to real world infrastructure. Even Evidin launched a digital passport system powered by IOTA, aligned with the EU regs, the World Economic Forum, Walmart, Renault, and more. This isn't hype, it's institutional grade adoption. Still think IOTA is a sleeping giant? Look again. No, still think IOTA is sleeping? Look again. It is a giant. Evident and the IOTA Foundation announced digital passport solution powered by IOTA. Digital passports will scale to fashion, food, electronics, media, and logistics. Businesses can integrate product identity, compliance data, repair records, and sustainability tracking. Includes special use cases like media passports, which is intellectual property protection, logistics passports, which is track and trace for supply chains. Sounds like VeChain too, doesn't it? Lots of chains doing the same thing. And it aligns with the EU battery passport regulations, mirrors the GS1 and ISO 14083 initiatives for product level emissions tracking, complements the World Economic Forum's DPP framework, supports Walmart, Renault, and Supply Chain 4.0 efforts using DLT for transparency, reflects trends from Ripple's. It reflects trends from Ripple's carbon market pilot and Hedera's DLT for sustainability program. Interesting, they're mentioning Ripple and Hedera for the IOTA digital passport design. The broader impact evident in IOTA launched one of the first real-world digital product passports, the DPP. It's ready to use. Deployed on IOTA's blockchain infrastructure. First use case, automotive batteries, tracking life cycle, sustainability, and carbon output. Why IOTA is the blockchain is the backbone. It's scalable, efficient, fast, open, and secure, supported by the IOTA Foundation and a leader in decentralized permissionless DLT trust. Its impact on product traceability. It captures data from origin to repair to end of life. Wow. Imagine products having a repair tag written in the blockchain. Not only can you trace it from origin to end of life, any notes made along the way, anywhere you take it for repair, will be included in it. What's up, Silver Days? Good to see you, as always, my friend. Buckles loves VeChain. Got a couple flash NFT staking and baking. Yeah, VeChain's an OG coin. Very important to have something like this as well, to capture the life cycle of a product. That's going to get rid of all these fake fashion things out there, rip-off products. Supports regulatory compliance, product quality, and sustainable consumption. It builds customer trust by verifying data on product safety, ethical sourcing, usage, and recycling, and enables warranty tracking and cost reduction via real-world product analytics. It's going to open up the secondary markets right there, guys, when you can transfer the warranty on chain. Imagine that. Very cool. IOTA's still in the game, guys. And Spray says the public financial reset timeline is right here. Let's break down this timeline. First, let's play Trump's. Ready to hit the campaign trail to help the GOP win in 2026. So you've got the 2-year elections coming up next year. So is that part of the timeline? The crypto timeline. Let's play Trump and then we'll go through the timeline.
Wait till you see the boom that this country goes through in 5 or 6 months from now with all of the things that are happening.
Wait till you see the boom 5 or 6 months from now. That's right into 2026. Let's go.
Car plants are getting ready to start built. Mm-hmm. They're going to be built by record numbers. The AI stuff is crazy. What's going on there? Billions and billions, trillions of dollars is being, and it's all going to start very shortly now. It's amazing. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investments in this country, and wait till you see what happens. We're going to have a successful country like I think we've never had before. Wait till you see the boom that this country goes through in 5 or 6 months from now.
Trump's predicting a boom. Let's go. Let's be part of it, guys. Let's check out this timeline from Spray. Public financial reset timeline. U.S. will boom in 5 to 6 months, says Trump. So we're in August now. Public confirmation. Ripple versus the SEC. Let's get that over with. September, Clarity Act signed by President Trump. With the RLUSD, the Treasury digital dollar backed one-to-one dollar deposits in treasuries. XRP is the sovereign grade liquidity for the RLUSD. It tokenizes U.S. debt as well. These T-bills are going to be on the XRP ledger as well, guys. Real-time FX agnostic, no middleman. Cross-border finality. Institutional pay. XRP moves RLUSD quantum grade rail. Coming up, Q3 Phase 4. Institutional onboarding. Banks, ETFs, DTCC. SWIFT trials begin. Institutions can legally deploy capital. You heard the Christine Lagarde from the EU saying they must make a decision on their stablecoin or CBDC decision by October. November 2025, Phase 5, liquidity injection. That's what we want to be part of. Watch the water. Ripple Liquidity Hub, ODO expansion. And then November 22nd is the SWIFT ISO standards worldwide. We already have it for FedNow. We need the world to accept the ISO standards. All cross-border payment instructions must be in ISO format. Tokenized debt mixed with tokenized gold. Repricing gold. The world financial reset. That's why we're here, guys. We know this stuff has been held back by the big liquidity banks. They want to prop up that funny money, that fiat money, that Federal Reserve note, that private IOU to the bankster families. They don't want real money. They want their Ponzi scheme to keep going. That's why they're fighting Ripple. Because everything's about to change, guys. Rebuild trust. Preserve the republic. There you go. December 2025 is Phase 6 ETF activation. Wow, this is a good article here. Let me make sure I'm following. Spray. At SPRQUY. White hat vet, not financial advice. That deserves a follow. Preserve the republic. December, Phase 6 ETF activation. XRP Spot Index ETF approval. Tether and Shadow Banks in-game. Genius offshore liquidity shutdown. Clarity. SEC DOJ green light. RLUSD compliant liquidity trap. Trojan horse of RLUSD. Love it. Capital shadows into sovereign rails. Sovereign, public, transparent rails. Governments need to be on chain and transparent, guys. You can't tell me everything that's being exposed isn't being set up to put all this stuff on transparent rails. NGOs have been stealing from us for years, decades. And it's pure theft, guys. What's going on? XRP connects, tokenized dollars, debt, gold, FX rails, and commodities. And into 2026, here we go, Q1. The public's going to see the world financial reset. XRP as the world reserve currency. The ledger as the new financial system. Ripple's becoming a Fed and a World Bank. Gold and silver price appreciation, currency backed by metals. And a lot of people say you can't back these native assets by metals. But you can tokenize T-bills that are backed by metals and create digital dollars out of tokenized metals, right? so many possibilities. That's what DLT does, guys. It gives us possibilities. All the way into Q4 of next year, 1 year from now. Let's see where we're at. XDC, they say the XDC is going to be World Trade Finance. HBAR is going to be Quantum Security. Zabek's going to be World Instant Payroll. Unbanked, XLM is going to unbank peer-to-peer revolution. Quant's going to be the network infrastructure. DAG is going to be the military data security. The QFS. IO is going to be IoT war rail. ADA is going to be self-governance. Stronghold is going to be ACH banking upgrade. XPR going to be the Fed upgrade. Algo is going to be retail tokenization, and Flare, the DeFi Oracle. Wow. Spray's got it figured out. I can't believe I'm just now founding this account here. Probably shadow banned. They don't want us to see this stuff, guys. Spray's giving it all away. Those are the tier 1 assets. Now he's going through tier 2, Casper, LCX, Songbird, Axelar, Link, Vet, Ondo, VELO, EWT. Don't forget about Solo and COREUM. XCN, INJ, Sol, BSL, FET, and Root. Let's see if there's any good comments here. Also, Spray keeps going. Attention holders, you don't own assets on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. We can't say that enough for the newbies, guys, coming along. Not your keys, not your crypto. Never give away your seed phrases, which are your keys, your private keys. Get your XRP off exchanges now. And we had that big article come out from USA Today over the weekend. Julia says, boom. Breaking news, USA Today calls XRP a smarter investment than the S&P 500 with potentially far exceeding traditional assets. And the article's headline is, XRP is the smartest crypto to buy with $500 right now. This is a very interesting article to me, guys. When have they been worried about the small man? Well, USA Today is letting the small guys know, if you've only got $500 to invest in crypto, XRP's the one. Yeah, I like that list too, Yogi. Very good list of cryptos. That looks like the Conectr coin list. Almost. Buckles has a nice bag of root. Good. It's a good price right now, says Buckles. Silverday says, but quantum computers, Mr. Conectr. We're going to upgrade to quantum supremacy with the U.S. leading the way, guys. We saw quantum was all in the White House Gov document. Not that. This one. Strengthening American leadership in digital financial technology. They are addressing quantum cryptography, guys, and the need to evaluate the safety of our keys. So they're all over it. Trump's quantum initiative during his first term got this started, and they're all over it, guys. So I don't think we have much to worry about quantum attacks. We've even heard Schwartz say that, they can just rekey the chain to secure it for quantum whenever it's needed. Cool. Let's keep it going. What a good article from USA Today. That's very unlikely, unusual that a big mainstream news company would put out something like that. So we must be getting close, guys. That way they can say they told you about it, right? They always have to tell you about it in some form. Maybe this is the actual article. Yeah, it looks like it. I didn't even read the actual article. I've got ad blocker, so it's not going to let me in unless I disable.
Significantly large. Nowadays, $500 doesn't feel like much, especially if you invested in the S&P 500 index, where you can expect to make an average annual return of 10%, assuming historical trends remain constant. That's just $50 per year. However, the cryptocurrency industry offers the potential for significantly larger gains than traditional asset classes, like stocks or bonds, for investors who are willing to tolerate more volatility. Below, I'll explore why the payments-focused token digital XRP, crypto, XRP, might make an excellent long-term pick as it racks up regulatory wins in the US and seeks to disrupt the market for international transactions. The regulatory climate is easing. Donald Trump's presidential election victory sparked a sharp rally in many cryptocurrencies, and it isn't hard to understand why Wall Street is so optimistic.
Okay, guys, so I'm not going to play it all for you, but it's just going through the regulatory climate and the Genius Act, and when lawsuits and enforcement stifle crypto adoption, XRP developer Ripple Labs was affected by the legal uncertainty, and it goes through the SEC suing Ripple and the path to real-world utility. Wow. They're actually letting people know about XRP's utility. What's up, Turple Nurple? Good to see you. So that's XRP's main selling point, they're saying, is its real-world utility. How important is that? I hope people don't gloss over that. Instead of trying to be a platform for highly speculative and often less decentralized apps, XRP focuses on a more tangible market for international payments. Speed and low cost. They're talking about cross-border payments here, free-floating bridge currency. And now they've got the stablecoin, RLUSD. Is it too late to buy XRP? Well, it's talking about the price. XRP has graduated from the boom and bust volatility of a meme coin, and investors should focus on its long-term growth potential as it benefits from easing regulatory pressure and compelling real-world use cases. Wow, what a good article. So this was the Motley Fool. I guess they were bought by USA Today as a partner, or partnering with USA Today. What a good article. Right on. Appreciate that from Julia. And Stephen Burke says, the institutions and TradeFi's here, they look at all areas of the financial market. XRP can be used everywhere, not just as a store of value. XRP has been bullied by the SEC for many years. They couldn't stop the kryptonite of crypto. I like that. Let's get back to our bookmarks. Mayuka Varadi. I'm seeing a lot of FUD around this PSA. Okay, we've got some info about Ripple changing from C+ to Rust. If Ripple was rewritten in Rust, or there was a second client in Rust, it wouldn't do anything to the on-chain data. Nothing would happen to your XRP. Everything about using and building on the XRP would stay the same. Just a change in what language the core protocol is written in. So yeah, a lot of people were kind of worried about them switching over to Rust would create a new chain, but that is not true. And even Crypto Eddie's here saying that decisions are being made today. And she's saying if restarting the XRP ledger from scratch, David Schwartz would be using Rust. He's definitely talked about it. Proposals from an outside company are currently being considered for a possible modular revamp of pieces. So we saw where in the Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology, they did say something about Rust, I remember. Let's see if we can find that. See anything on it. Let's see what he's saying here about
You
Rust.
mentioned that if you had to restart from scratch, you would do it in Rust. So why not re-implement it in Rust today?
You know, there's people who there's definitely talk about doing that, and there's also been talk about modularizing the transaction engine so that the transaction engine could execute in a VM, and then you could implement because the transaction engine, having multiple implementations of the transaction engine would be very challenging. So you can imagine a situation where the transaction engine is sort of compartmentalized and runs in a VM. And then maybe like the code around it that does the overlay and the database and the client queries could then be written in any language. It could be modular. We would like to have the code be more modular. It's kind of annoying that you have a monolith that has the consensus engine, the transaction engine, and client queries like all monolithically. That would be great. The big challenge is the certain bits of the transaction engine, particularly the payment engine, are not well enough specified that you could have. So another possibility is like, let's specify how that payment engine actually works. And if we wind up with a situation where we can't specify it, let's fix it. So one example of where you might be unable to specify the payment engine is we use something like floating point, imprecise math, and some of the numbers. And the net result of that is if you do like A
Schwartz is nerding out. Bear with him, guys.
plus B minus C, you can get a different result from A minus C plus B. Because of the precision. And there may be cases where like we have to sum up a bunch of stuff and we just do it and subtract and add the things and we just do it in a random order, just the code does it in the order it happens to do it. And so if you try to specify it to produce the exact same result in another language, you need to execute those operations in exactly the same order. And if we picked an order that the code just happens to use that is illogical, it would be like you could actually specify, yeah, actually you have to do like Z minus Q plus T minus R plus, right? Like that would be annoying. We would probably want to respecify and have an amendment where at one time we switch over to a more organized, clear, coherent version of that code. And that would be a plus that would be a win all around. But even if we can't do that, we could isolate the pieces of code that have those annoying quirks, like the payment engine, and maybe modularize.
So basically, they're always talking about upgrading and making the ledger resilient, guys, and fast and efficient. I'm not sure, Turple. I did remember him mentioning Evernote being built for problems that don't exist yet. Yeah, I think that might be the same stream. So yeah, just know, guys, that Ripple is a steward of the the escrow, and they are a steward of the technology providers that are being brought to the XRP ledger, even though it's an open source ledger. The nodes all the different nodes have to vote on what's implemented. They're still coming up and pushing forward the technology upgrades to stay relevant, guys. Just know that. And as well, just some guy says, he'll say it again, the XRP ledger will connect to Stellar Network. Joe Katz is now talking about Rust on the XRP-L. I have a feeling that I know that David and Tom Weller were talking about it now. Tomer loves Rust. Sorbonne uses Rust on Stellar. So maybe there's a perfect harmony coming together again. Stellar and XLM and XRP with Ripple. So there's the guy from Sorbonne on the right, I assume. I would love to know what they're discussing. So we'll have to keep an eye on XRPL. Going back to Rust. Interesting. Okay, we've got some Stronghold post here. Who controls a blockchain? That's a question Stronghold Pay asked in their latest video. Really good breakdown here.
Crypto governance is the term we use when we're talking about how a blockchain network makes high-level decisions. To be clear, this governance is not about government. Actually, that's a good place to start. Why do people trust the value of traditional fiat
Silver days. So A plus B equals C, except after E. Okay, got it.
currency? It's based on faith in the government backing the currency. In the US, the Federal Reserve Board makes decisions that can affect the supply and value of the dollar. For example, interest rate hikes or quantitative easing. Governments can regulate cryptocurrency activity within their own country, but blockchain networks operate independently.
Yeah, blockchain's better than government. Higher than government, if you ask me. On-chain governance. Better than a bunch of bureaucrats making decisions.
So who has the control? Who gets to make decisions about something like updating a network protocol? A really profound part of blockchain technology is that it lets us explore and reinvent control mechanisms for currency on a global level. So there are many different governance structures in use today. Two terms, on-chain and off-chain, are important for understanding governance. For on-chain decisions, network participants vote through a process embedded within the blockchain. In many cases, voting eligibility is based on holding tokens, and smart contracts can execute on an approved change. For off-chain decisions, the network developers and core users discuss changes through other channels, in person at conferences, online forums, or across electronic modes of communication. Both forms offer distinct advantages. On-chain governance reflects the ethos of decentralization and embraces full use of blockchain technology. Off-chain governance enables thoughtful, deliberate change. Visionary guidance encourages differentiation, which leads to...
So what's the need for the for the SEC if we've got on-chain governance? Isn't that a good question?
more variety in the overall crypto space. Most blockchain networks use hybrid governance structures that combine on and off-chain decision mechanism to varying degrees. We have a lot of choice in how we make choices. If you want to understand the structure we use, check out the link below to the SHX governance rules.
SHX in the game, guys. Stronghold. Don't sleep on Stronghold. Jeffrey says he's dollar cost average in Evernote. Yeah, that's a good one too. Evernote is bullish. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Don't forget to check out my store on YouTube. Been working on that all weekend. Got some killer exclusive merch, stylish. Good to have you guys on the stream as always. Mr. Conectr is out, guys.